pride won't let me keep crying. Shit, something gotta give. Shit, cause somebody gotta make it at these streets. And bury me a priest. Up at night I never sleep, contemplating how to set my people free. Bury me a priest. Revolution I be moving, got the beds, get a bodies in these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Restoring honor to my dad's name, he died before he ever got to see. Bury me a priest. If it's ever rest in peace, tell my kids that it died on his feet. Bury me a priest.
I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends till we start getting ignorant. I be doing that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nominally abdominal. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical. This is funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like a Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era when niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit's gotten retarded since all the dominance. One west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got roof vibes for Uber. Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. Now I'm really Luger, 17 in the room. Only need a few to sit up and you're my doula. Out of gotta, with a regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by black Apollos, let the semi holler. A showstopper, then the proppers is the teeny bopper. But now I'm going off Patron and premium a vodka. I put his engines on the block, modify the chopper. The small heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No marijuana, say I got the loud silence on it. When I'm a baller, they gon' rap and do it like I do it. A lot of spinners and writers, but when they eat so, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, down the deep. And I'm still going as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel with night, I'm winning, coming through with the sound. Cause you carry one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
I'm killing these crystals, I'm killing these crystals, I'm killing these crystals, I'm killing these crystals, I'm looking these crystals, they go, it's all crystals, they take a green flip, they come at the water, you the pork chops in the kitchen, they sit on the here, I'm killing these crystals Sunday, 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 I'm killing these crystals, I'm looking these crystals, they see the white crystals, like it's all crystals, push a ball, he was so mad, he's like dope, they being old, killing these crystals Sunday, they bow on the floor like laundry, them cut the Holy Ghost let it run it, that bullshit, honey, white brother, yeah, ain't called no ghost, now you running out your clothes, everything's for show, your Bible stay closed, your living, your foe, your prayer ain't on, your preacher stay paid, your baby stay for, get ready for the holiday season, then they got enough for the key. All the blood, they be talking about the bleeding. The wonder why they feeling out but believing. You ain't speaking on tongues, that correct stay from. Your professor ain't nothing but an act straight from. Stay from, keep on, it's the first of the month. Bring it tied to the front and get up for the look. Always agree to disagree, but say the Lord is something proven and dream. But the street nigga hop in the sheet, they be the first to turn on the cheek. Got a personal relationship with Jesus, but say what Solomon was doing indecent. Since the Old Testament has done away with, tell me what we had to suffer that shit. Killing these Chris about something. I'm 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 killing these Chris. I'm fucking these Chris. They don't know Chris. They it's all just don't take a brief. If they coming up the water from the pork chop in the kitchen, they see something. Killing these Chris about Sunday. I'm 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 killing these Christians, I'm fucking these Christians, they see the light of the day, it's all people say, push up all, even they serving that, it's like go back, being an old guy, we killing these Christians about Sunday, it's a game till the devil start trumping. When your white friends treat you like company, and you realize it's all plain country, you ain't never getting nothing, ain't American shit, you ain't never been, you about to say that's big, we from the same bloodline, white man's spirit, come from the same land, which the white man should hate your brother, showing love to your enemy, but all that said, you still got the energy, you believe in the rupture and the Trinity, y'all must like you to infinity, you ain't reading that book, that demon ain't shook, you feeding that proof, you give me that look, I'm seasoned like look, y'all falling for the hood, just leave me to for smooth like a rookie, you get down and get laid down, I revolution when it feels sound, 40 plus years following the clown, when the white chest doesn't going down, man, fuck that church, you better leave with that hearse, man, fuck that church, you better leave with that hearse, man, fuck that church, you better leave with that hearse, fuck that church. Killing these Chris about something, I'm killing these Chris about something, I'm killing these Chris about something, I'm killing these Chris about something. I'm killing these Chris, I'm fucking these Chris, they don't know Chris, they know it's all just they type of green flip, they coming up the water from the pork chop in the kitchen, they sing something, I'm killing these Chris about Sunday, 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 I'm killing these Chris, I'm fucking these Chris, they see the white Chris, they like it's all people say, push up all, even they serving that, it's like go back, being an old guy,
Oh yeah. That's an awfully hot talking pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not, but that's all I got. Till I come up with a solid get to my
Pills in the white, different last, different frank, different red, different orange, different blue, different red, different stand, different tan, different let me hand, different stand, different steel tip. Pills in the white, different nice, different right, different red, different orange, different blue, different plan, different stand, different fan, different let me hand, different stand, different steel tip. Pills in the white, different nice, different right, different red, different orange, different blue, different plan, different stand, different fan, different let me hand, different stand, different steel tip.
So they say just nigga. Remember that shit I gave you last week, nigga? It's nothing, nigga. It's nothing. It's nothing, nigga. Nigga, it's nothing. This shit right here, nigga. This shit right here, nigga. Right here. This shit, nigga. This shit here, nigga. All they got some fucked up name is Crypto Chronicle, like, nigga. All they got some fucked up ass name is nigga. This shit here, nigga. This shit here, nigga. This shit called death, nigga.
Killing these Chris about something. I'm 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 killing these Chris, I'm fucking these Chris, they don't know Chris, they know it's all just they type of green flip, they coming up the water from the pork chop in the kitchen, they sing something, I'm killing these Chris about Sunday. 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 I'm killing these Christians, I'm fucking these Chris, they see the white Chris, they like it's all people say, push up all, even they serving that, these like go back, being an old guy, we killing these Chris about Sunday. I'm 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 killing these Chris, I'm fucking these Chris, they don't know Chris, they know it's all just they type of green flip, they coming up the water from the pork chop in the kitchen, they sing something, I'm killing these Chris about Sunday. 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 I'm killing these Christians, I'm fucking these Chris, they see the white Chris, they like it's all people say, push up all, even they serving that, these like go back, being an old guy, we killing these Chris about Sunday. I'm 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 killing these Chris, I'm fucking these Chris, they don't know Chris, they know it's all just they type of green flip, they coming up the water from the pork chop in the kitchen, they sing something, I'm killing.
Shalom, Israel. We're at ISUPK, start out on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Honda. And since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians the truth according to the Bible. And we are located here at 5261 Delmar Boulevard, Suite A, in St. Louis, Missouri, 63108. All right, we got 2 call-in numbers for the class tonight. The first number is 712-832-8330, and the second number is 425-436-6260. All right, the pin for both is 825-1636. Listen every Sunday. We'll have the most controversial radio show hitting St. Louis, and that is Sharpen the Sword with Captain DeGaulle Gabar. And that's Sundays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. The call-in number for that is 712-832-8330, and the pin for that is 910-1409. All right. All right, this coming Saturday, this coming Friday, September 18th, we will be having a food distribution right here at 5261 Delmar Boulevard in the parking lot. It'll be from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Just come on through, pull up. You don't even have to get out of your car. Just pull up and we'll give us your name, your number, fill out a little paper, fill up your truck. All right, there we go. Hop right into the subject there. All right. Well, we in ISUPK, sometimes we get approached and people like to talk to us because they wonder why we talk the way we talk, or why we teach the word the way we teach, because they so used to the way they Christian pastor teaches. They so used to the timid talk. They're so used to people saying things that are nice, saying things that they like to hear. They're not used to the rough speech that we have, the way we teach on the corner. They're not used to people just telling them, look, this is the problem with our people. We need to fix it. We need to separate from our enemy. They used to people telling them to love everybody. They used to their pastor telling them that basically all they got to do is pray about it and then they're forgiven. When they know for a fact that you just gonna keep doing what you're doing, so that way you gonna have to keep praying for it. You gonna keep continually being in a state of repentance. You're never going to achieve perfection. You're never going to grow, and it's because they keep you in that timid spirit. They keep you down. They keep you pushed down, especially as a man. The Christian church is geared more towards women, especially our people, especially our women, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. It's upbeat, it's lively, it's like a concert. And we have to understand and we have to realize that that leads only to a docile and timid way of handling things, because we are, instead of preparing for war, instead of doing what we're supposed to be doing as a people and raising up strong men ready for battle, we raising up tambourine players. We not raising young men built to withstand. We not raising young men that are built to lead a nation, to lead a group of men, to lead a family. But we're gonna. But first, let's see here. Okay, first I want to go to 2 Timothy, the first chapter, and the 7th verse, because we're not supposed to be out here teaching timidly. We're not supposed to be giving the word of the Most High in a way that makes you feel good, because people do that because they're afraid. They're afraid of what you will do if they were to tell you the truth. They're afraid that you might not pay them that extra donation that they want. You're not gonna get them the tithes that they was looking for, and that is what the so-called Black and Hispanic church lives off of, is the tithes of our people and being ignorant, and they are afraid that if they ever tell you the truth, you walking out of the door. All right, let's see. The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. See, we're not supposed to be out here teaching the word and dealing with our people and talking like we are afraid. We are supposed to teach this word with power and with authority, because that is the way the Most High commands us to teach. And not only is that found in what's the so-called New Testament, because some people would think that like maybe that might be an Old Testament theory, but we just see that in the 2 Timothy that this is something that happens in the New Testament. This isn't just an old way of doing things, because this is the way that Christ taught, and this is the way that he taught his disciples, to go out and to teach his people without the spirit of fear, without the spirit of fear, because he has given us the spirit of power, of love, and a sound mind. He's given us all the things that we need to go against that fear. We have the power to to teach the Most High's will. We know the scriptures when we have Salakia. Let me get back. He has not given us a spirit of fear, of power, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. He's taught us through following the commandments that we don't have to fear what people will say. We do not have to fear what people will do. There's a power in following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right. Now, this is also something that Moses wrote about in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Okay, book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doeth that Salakia, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. That's what I was talking about before when I was saying that going out there and talking to your people and teaching your people requires strength. You can't truly teach your people and the opportunity for fear doesn't arise, because our people like to try to antagonize you. They like to try to fight you. They like to, you know. I've heard so many arguments. I've heard so many stories about, you know, different people that have come up and tried to, you know, attack people at the camp. I've seen videos online. Now, it takes courage to go out there. It takes courage to face a nation of rebellious children and to teach the word of the Most High. So it's required that if you want to do the work and the will of the Lord, you gotta have strength. You have to have courage. You can't just be in here to get on a screen. You have to understand that you're going to battle. You're going to war, and that you need courage. You need strength to continue this battle. You need to have some sort of internal drive and love for your people to go out there and teach them the way that we teach them. Why? Because we're teaching our people the truth in a world that loves to teach that loves to keep us in a lie. Let's see here. We're gonna go to Mark, the 3rd chapter and the 14th verse. Because we are out here, we're battling. We need this strength. A man of the Most High needs to be strong, because we're out here fighting with demons that are our demons we had to fight with to even get in here, to even start doing this, and that we still fight with daily, that pop up and rise up against us. And we have to we come out there and our people face us with their demons on their faces. All right, let's see. Mark, the 3rd chapter, starting at the 14th verse. And he ordained 12. Now, this is talking about Yahushua and his disciples. That they should be with him, and that he might send them forth to preach. Now, each and every general, captain, officer, and trooper are right now following in these footsteps. We are following the footsteps of the 12 that were sent out. We are the continuation of the organization that Yahushua established, of those Israelites who are going to do the laws and teach the children of Israel to keep the laws, and not just keep the laws, and not just know the laws, but to love the laws, to make the laws a part of themselves. That's the main thing Yahushua did while he was here on earth, was he showed us how to make that law, how to take that law and make it personal. You know, and this is why we don't teach softly. This is why we don't teach weakly. This is why we teach with strength. This is why we teach with authority. Because you take that law and it becomes a part of you. It's like it. And like I said, we're following in these men's footsteps, and we're sent forth to teach our people the truth. All right, verse 15. And have the power to heal sickness and to cast out devils. See, this is saying he's given us this power. He sent us forth with this power. What is that power? The power is to heal sickness and to cast out devils. And again, we not only cast out our devils, we casting out the devils and demons of the people on the street who will walk up and who walk up with those demons and those devils on them, and before they leave, they got a flyer, and they come into the school. Now they in all black, and that's what we do. We heal the sick. We cast out devils. It takes power to do this. You can't. This is why you don't actually get any healing or any. You don't get any healing or any help in the Christian church, because the man who's up there teaching it to you doesn't actually believe in the book. He doesn't believe what's written in the Bible, because in the Bible it tells you from the beginning to end to keep the laws. That this book is for the Israelites. That you have to twist this book just to get anything that Christianity teaches out of it. So that is why he'll have a problem with teaching you that. He'll have a problem with displaying that type of power, because he doesn't have the faith in this. He wasn't given that power because he doesn't keep the commandments. He doesn't actually follow Christ. He follows the so-called he follows his father, the devil. He teaches you white supremacy, and then makes you believe that somehow this is going to fix your community, or that they are a leader of our community. Well, this is the same thing that's been going on since Rome. Like with the high priest, they were puppet rulers. Like they were set up by the enemy to be the voice or the head of our people. And today, the same thing is going on. It's just, instead of being called scribes and Pharisees, they're just called pastors. They're the same thing. They're set up leadership ordained by our oppressor to keep us in this situation. All right, let's see. All right, next we're going to go to Mark, the 13th chapter and the 34th verse. All right, Mark, the 34th chapter, the 13th chapter, the 34th verse. All right. For the Son of Man is a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. So this is a parable that Yahweh has given about himself. So Yahweh, of course, is the Son of Man, took a far journey. He, sitting, the right hand of the Father, who left his house. His house is Israel. He is the ruler of Israel. He is the king of Israel. And gave authority to his servants. Now, we know that Yahweh has said that that, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but whoever does the will of my Father, those are my brothers and my sisters. So we know that the servants, the people who are serving Yahweh, that he gives authority to, are the men of the Isupk. Why? Because the men of the Isupk are teaching the way he taught. Because he taught in the streets. He taught to the scribes and the Pharisees and told them exactly where they were off at. You know, he taught the laws and he kept the laws. And the ISUPK is the only ones out there right now that's keeping these laws and that's teaching other men to do so. Alright. Let me see. Slovakia. Okay. Slovakia. Let's see here. Next we're gonna head to Luke, chapter 10, verse 19. All right. Luke, the 10th chapter, 19th verse. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. So, what this is saying is plain and simple and clear. Now, of course, he doesn't actually mean actual serpents and actual scorpions. Those are metaphors. They're analogies. We call, you know, of course, it's just like the snake in the garden. It's an analogy. It is saying that he gives us power to tread on serpents, meaning to give us power to tread on serpents means that he's given us power over our enemies, power over the ones who a serpent, a snake, somebody who would say something to try to get you caught up or tripped up, or a scorpion, somebody who has a sharp sting, somebody who metes out punishment, who has a poisonous sting. But it's against those things that the Christian pastor is worried about. He is concerned with the serpents. He's concerned with the scorpions. Why? Because he does not have that power. He is concerned with the scorpions and he's concerned with the serpents because he is one. He's a serpent. He is deceptive. See, and this is how we have the power to overcome them. This is why people are flooding out of the Christian church, because since 1969, men of the Lord have been on the street corners teaching that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true children of Israel, and more of our people are leaving out of those Christian churches because it's obvious that they are not following the book. They're not even actually reading this book to our people. Most people who become ex-Christians or former, whatever they were in a Christian church, they don't even realize until they get into the truth how much of the Bible that they didn't even know was there. Like they don't, when you teach them about how Yahushua actually was, when you teach them that, no, these is a man of war. He said you don't have you don't have your sword, sell your garment. Or if my enemy that I would not reign over them, bring them to my feet and slay them. It's like we don't really understand. We don't realize how much we don't know in the Bible, and it's because our pastors have kept it from us. Our pastors make us think that we know what we're talking about. They make us think that we know the Bible because they are afraid and they are weak, and they don't have the power to tread on scorpions. They don't have the power to tread on serpents because they are those serpents, and they are afraid that if they ever try to get out or they ever try to correct themselves and tell the truth, then they'll lose everything. But we were commanded to go out and teach just the way we do. We were commanded to go and tell our people about their transgressions and give our people the solution, give our people the answer. And that is following these laws, statutes, and commandments, and coming into the ISUPK where we can learn how to do that. All right, let's see here. Next, we're going to go to Isaiah 58 and 1. Because we need our people to realize that when you see the men of the ISUPK, you see what a true priest and prophet of the Most High looks like. You see men who have been called from whatever life that they've been doing before, whatever they were before they came in here, to being the true priests of the Most High, to being the true prophets of the God of Israel. And you might think that what we doing is it's offensive or an affront to you and your sensibilities because of what you're used to. But we're going to show you that this is exactly how the Most High taught us to teach his people, because he gave us instructions. He left us instructions through his prophets to understand and to know how to bring the children of Israel back in. All right, so we're starting up. We're going with Isaiah, the 58th chapter, the first verse. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. So it's telling us to use a loud voice, to be aggressive, to not take this as a light thing. This is something serious. This is something that if you were too far away to reach somebody, but you saw a bus about to hit them, you don't just say, "Hey, move, it's a bus." No, you scream. You yell, you say it as loud as you can. Why? Because you see danger and you want to alert that person. You want to let them know, hey, there is an imminent threat. You are in danger right now. So this is why it tells you to cry aloud, to spare not. You're not supposed to worry about what they think. Like, It doesn't matter to me if I might have hurt your feelings for that moment because I saved your life. The two, your feelings don't matter in that way. It doesn't matter how you feel when it comes to right and wrong. That has no bearing on the truth. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not right to abuse people or to emotionally abuse people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is truth and there is lies. If it's truthful and it hurts your feelings, then your feelings is the problem. It's not the truth. It's not the facts. So we're not supposed to spare your feelings because it's the truth. If it hurts your feelings, that's something you need to work on. That's something you need to fix. You don't need to look at that as being attacked. That is being helped because no judgment is being passed. No one is coming out and judging you and punishing you for that sin or for whatever you're doing. What they are doing is standing out there and trying to warn you so you can get correction before the judgment comes. Again, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. To speak loudly and show my people their transgression. So we're supposed to show you what you're doing. We're supposed to show you where you're going off. We're supposed to tell you where you're wrong. And just like it's not too undifferent than a doctor. If you go to a doctor and he just says, "Oh no, everything's great," every single time he sees you, it's a problem. Now hold on, now ain't nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong ever. I don't know about that. I mean, I was feeling a little ache. It's a lot. But no, there's something that's wrong. There's something that you need fixed. There's something you need help with. And a man who has submitted to the will of Yahweh and who follows the example of Yahweh, he is going to do what it takes to correct them. That doesn't mean that they're going to like it all the time. That doesn't mean that it's going to be the nicest and feel the fluffiest. And it's not about that. It's about what actually works, what actually is going to save your life. All right, let's see. So, and when we teach our people like that, and when we go out there and stand on those street corners and yell and scream, and we're out there to serve the Most High by waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. It's the same thing that our King Yahushua did. And to be his servant means you have to do what he commanded, to follow his instructions. To follow him means to do what he did. And let's see, we're going to go to Luke chapter 14 and verse 23. Because not only are we supposed to, cry aloud and to spare not, but it's not just inside of a building. It's not just on YouTube. It's not just on a Facebook Live video. The book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out unto the highways and the hedges, and compel them come in, that my house may be filled. So we're supposed to go out into the highways, into the hedges. That's why we go and stand on the street corners and have, and go to camp. That's the point. That's the reason. Because this is how our master has given us, this is the order he's given us. This is how he has told us to go and get his people, to go and be the fishers of men. And when we out there, it's not easy. It's not just a light thing, a light walk in the park. Because our people are hard-headed, and our people don't want to follow the laws of the Most High. And we have to consistently go out and teach and keep up that zeal and keep up that strength, because that is what is required of a priest and prophet. And that's the thing that priests and prophets have always done. That is the same thing that was going on in Moses' day. That was the same thing that was going on in Isaiah's day. The priests and prophets have always had to, be strong, against their own people, because our people love to rebel, and our people love to fight back. They love to go and follow the other nations. Why? I don't know. It's if I could, figure out exactly why we keep doing this, and we just won't see that it is a failing cause. We've done this, in Egypt. We wanted to run back to Pharaoh. We've done this every captivity. Some of our people have just done this just willingly. Some of us, it was beat into a lot of us. But now that you can read, and now that we are in this situation and in this place, I just don't understand how our people won't follow the laws of the Most High. Like, we've tried marching, we've tried protesting, and we've tried doing every type of begging the exact way our enemy has taught us to beg. And it's not working for us. But we in the ISUPK have been out since 1969 on the street corners, teaching our people who they are, and calling for our people to come in, calling for our people to follow the laws of the Most High and come back to who they are. All right, we're going to go to Book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 20. Starting at verse 20. The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. Verse 21. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, and in the opening of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words. So we see that wisdom is crying without in the street. That's why when we go out into the streets and we cry out, we go into the, like it says, the chief place of concourse. So that's why when you see us out, it'll be at a busy gas station in our neighborhood, or bus, or a bus depot, or it'll be somewhere where there's a lot of our people congregating. And at the opening of gates in the city, and so at the intersection of neighborhoods, where basically where one neighborhood changes into another neighborhood, where everything convalesces, everything gathers around this area. That is where wisdom, it says, wisdom crieth out. We'll keep reading. Saying, verse 22, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So, and that's what we go out there and teach. That's what we go out there and sit and we say, how long will our people love to keep begging the white begging the oppressor for equality, or begging them to stop killing us? Our people have been begging all the other peoples for their help, and have not gone to the Most High. Our people keep trying to incorporate everybody else into our healing and our community, our gathering back together, and our rising up. We always want to include everybody else. That's been our problem. That's been our problem for most of our history as a people. And the only time when we actually do anything worth mentioning or worth note is when we do it on our own. When we're not looking for the help of other people. There we go, that's what I was looking for. The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we watched for a nation that could not save us. See, we've been watching for these other people to save us. And not just even not even just directly, but we also look for them to save us indirectly as well. Not just by direct help from them, but by, we gonna separate from them, but we're going to keep their way of economy. We're going to keep their way of governance. We're going to keep we always want to take what. See, even when we depart from our enemy, we still take part of what they've given or what we've learned from them, because we still, even when we separate, we still want to be a part of our master. We want to be a part of those who have ruled over us and kept us in this servile state. And partially is because we believe, like, what's his name, Killer Mike. I remember they were showing this. I think it was General Muhammad. He was showing this video of Killer Mike, and it was after some shooting. But basically, Killer Mike was like, "Well, do any of you shoot regularly? Do any of you hunt? Do any of you have your own guard?" The point Killer Mike was trying to make was a point that a lot of our people feel, even if they won't admit it out loud, that yeah, we you know, they are an enemy and everything, but we really can't live without them. Like, why would we really want to live without them? And a part of our problem is us as a people. We believe that we need them to survive, and that we always gotta at least have a part of them. So even the quote unquote revolutionaries still believe that, you know, they need the oppressor, the ones who are ruling over us at this time, because they're afraid personally. They're afraid of what they'll lose because they're personally invested into this system. And even though they might not realize how much, they are invested in this system working, because that's how they feel that they're going to survive, or they're going to be ahead, because they know how to work with and deal with this system. Okay, go to the book. All right, we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 20. Because this is what's wrong. They're afraid that, you know, if our people wake up completely, and if our people get back to the law, statutes, and commandments, it's just like the Pharisees, that they would lose their seat. Because, you know, if the quote unquote revolution happens and the currency market goes upside down, does your currency actually worth as much? That they are afraid of the things that, even in their own plans, when they say it all the way out, then they're afraid of losing their position. They don't feel the actual struggles of everyday people in their community that they say that they're serving, or they say that they're with. All right. The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. And even though we're going through this situation that we in, even though our leadership is miserable in the so-called Black and Hispanic community, our leadership has led us into the worst areas to live in the world and everywhere on the world. They've led us to our high death rates. They've led us to these diseases. Why? Because they keep us in sin. They keep us going against the Most High, so that they've led us into these situations. They've led us into the abortion clinics. They've led us, into the circumstances we in now. And even though we've going through that, even though we have this adversity and this affliction, the men of the Lord are on the street corners. They are out there in the streets for your eyes to be able to see them. They are teaching. Let me go ahead and keep going. Verse 21. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. And when ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. So this is saying that, we won't be hidden, and you'll hear our voices saying, this is the way. We're going to teach you. We're going to go out there and teach you the ways that you should go. We're going to teach you the ways of the Most High. And we're going to tell you to walk in this way. And that's for when you turn to the right or when you turn to the left. If you going off in either direction, we're going to tell you the way to walk and the ways of the Most High and how to walk in it. And our people hate correction. We love being right. We love hate. We love hateful speech because hateful speech is sweet to us. It sounds good. We don't love loving words. We don't love peaceful words because loving words is keep the law. Peaceful words are, hey, follow the commandments. Why? The laws will teach you how to love your brother. They'll teach you how to love your sister. They'll teach you how to love your children and your spouse. They teach you how to treat yourself and others right. To go against that is hate. So our people love to hear you can do whatever you want to do. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to change anything. But that is not that's not what we are. That's not going to help us. That's not going to help us as a people. And that is exactly how we are where we are. Our leadership has allowed us to go down this road. Our leadership has allowed the homosexuality in our community to get as rampant as it is. Our leadership has allowed the abortion rates to get as high as they have. Our leadership has allowed and created the single parent households that we have today. Why? Because our leadership did not show strength and was not strong as leadership. They were weak. And that is why our people need the ISUPK. The leadership that we've had as a people in this country has failed us over and over and over again. We're going to go to the book of Mark, chapter 1, verse 21. Starting at verse 21. The book of Mark, chapter 1, verse 21. And they went into Capernaum, and straightway on the Sabbath day he entered into the synagogue and taught. Verse 22. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one that had authority, not as the scribes. So this is talking about, this is the same way, the priests and the prophets of the Most High get approached today, whereas people look at you and they're amazed, they're astonished at this doctrine that you're teaching, at the way you teach it out of the Bible, and our people like to say, they start to listen, not my Jesus, they just start saying stuff like that can't be coming out of the Bible. Where do you see that at? Well, we show it to them and we read it to them, and they realize, some of them do, they realize that they've been living and they've been told a lie. They when they've been shown the truth, sometimes they believe. It's like they understand that they've been lied to, and they ask us, where y'all learn that? How y'all learn that? Why? Because they expect us to be, so in their Christian circles or whatever, they all end up getting theology degrees. They all get doctrines, or they all go to school to prove that they learned something, or that they know what they're talking about. And they look at us, and that's why they're trying to figure out, how in the world we teach like this, and we haven't been to, one of the oppressors' institutions of higher learning for their way of teaching the Bible, for their way of teaching the doctrine of the Most High, because they don't teach the doctrine of the Most High. They don't teach the doctrine that this Bible actually is supposed to be teaching, is supposed to be coming out